man.
The main bad guy was like the diva from The Fifth Element. You know, I was like, what was that all about?
Oh, that 50-foot tall guy, which you never really, thought was going to be like ominous and end up being like some old dude on stilts.
I thought they were going to tie this into Stargate. I really did, because there was no other explanation for so much of it. Like, there's like one bad guy who's apparently got a voice encoder like thing, like those little special effects things that change your voice.
Oh, he was like the one guy who didn't have dreads. He had a perm.
And apparently that makes your voice talk like this.
You rang and all that. Yeah, come on, man. You say the effects were bad. There was one bad effect in there, but the others, the woolly mammoths and even the scenery, the spectacle. I'll put it this way. There's so much spectacle in this movie that I thought was incredible. And I'm giving credit to the effects people. All those elephants, those woolly mammoths, snuffalpagii, whatever you want to call them, they look like real creatures to me.
I don't agree with you. I think they did a lot of detail, but they still didn't convince. And
really?
In the wake of several films that have managed to pull off stuff like that, I just... You know, they looked about as real to me as The Lion and I Am Legend, really. Speaking of that, the really bad effect, though, here is that saber-toothed tiger, which is, you can't believe it got past the editing room.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that, how bad that saber-toothed tiger was.
and not just the way it looks, but the way it fits into the story is like, oh, come on, what is this bullshit?
Yeah, and the way it kept changing sizes, like at one point, it's a really big cat, and the next... It's like it's the size of a house.
Yeah,
it's like watching an old episode of Land of the Giants, where there's a tabby cat and they're trying to fight it off with a sewing needle.
No, and there's a scene where they just stop and let that tiger just take mid-center attention right there, and you really look at it, you're like, why'd they do that? Because Battle Cat from He-Man looks better than this thing right here. I mean, it was almost like one of the effects guys said, man, I'm going to fuck them up. I'm just going to show them how funny this shit is.
Yeah. You know, you did really expect, you were saying this before, expect the guy to end up riding it at some point because the movie was just that dumb.
No, it seemed like it was going to be an episode of Beastmaster. He saves his saber-toothed tiger, and for what? Just for the tiger to come back and just say, hey, everybody, they needed a saber-toothed tiger in here somewhere. You know 10,000 BC had saber-toothed tigers in it. Here I am. Yeah, goodbye.
Hold on. Let me look that up real quick. Okay, there might have been a few left.
Yeah, I mean...
Exxon gas with a tiger in your tank. They're great!
I mean, you're right, because he didn't do anything.
No.
Yeah. I mean, they might as well... You really showed up and just said, hey...
Well, he's a deus ex machina, because, like, you got to find an excuse for why all these people would follow a white guy other than the fact he's white, and they use that as a really stupid way of doing it. It's a lame, convincing excuse for all the people of the world of different colors to go, follow the white guy with dreads.
It was all the black people said, fuck, man, that tiger didn't eat his ass? There must be something magical about him then. Else he just don't taste good.
That's exactly what they did.
Because the black people go probably eeat him too. If tiger ain't gonna eat him, we ain't gonna fuck with him either. No, man, I will. You and I disagree on the effects. What am I trying to think? What word am I trying to think here? I compliment the effects team very much for what they did on this, except for that saber-toothed tiger. But the rest of the movie is just a waste of their talents, and I'm giving it a very low rental just because of the effects.
If there was, even with bad effects, if there had just been more of them, if there had just been more stuff happening, but so much of this is so dull, just nothing but people talking and stilted bad acting. This is some old bullshit to me. This is like, the bad Beastmaster ripoffs of the early 80s.
Wow. You know what? It's funny that y'all having this debate, because I was so with Corey where, like, most of the effects I think are pretty good, especially the scenery and stuff that you don't think of as effects is what holds it together. But then as you brought up about how boring it was, like how deeply I fell asleep in this movie and how awful the dialogue is, yeah, I guess I got to kind of give it some old bullshit as well.
No, it's a terrible movie. And understand, I'm giving credit to the people who put hard work into this, who just happen to be in a shitty movie. I mean, I feel sorry for them. I mean, I'm giving this a rental because I feel bad for people who worked on this.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're contracted to do a job, you don't do a bad job because you don't respect the project. It's like, hey, you get credit for what you do. Get in there and do the best you can. And whoever was working on that saber-toothed tiger, hey man, you got a bad work ethic. Hey man, you got a bad work ethic. You need to be fired.
Probably somebody's nephew.
I mean, y'all got that Titanic attitude. It's like if the ship's going down, everybody going down with it. I don't care how hard you work. Yeah, and the band played on.
But it's not like they're going to get like higher pay because you give it a rental. I mean, this is for whether or not people to actually bother to go see it. You know what? Don't.
I would tell you, man, Cliff Curtis is an actor who just doesn't get enough credit.
Right.
Mainly because he's kind of sometimes in
the-
bullshit like this.
The guy from who was in 24 and a bunch of
Training
stuff.
Day.
Training Day,
Day,
and all that.
I like that guy.
You know, he's a great actor. He really is. It was just funny. They spent all this millions on the effect, all this money, millions of dollars on the effects, and they couldn't give that son of a bitch a convincing mustache. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw the glue that was underneath the hair holding it up to his face.
Well, not to mention, it was just kind of weird because everybody has these sort of like really nicely trimmed sort of indie rock facial hair. You notice that? They've all got you're like, wow, really? You like guys can't clean the shit out of your dreadlocks, but you just do an amazing job, like evenly trimming all your beards and goatees.
No,
and
they
such
look like a Seattle band from the 90s.
They do, totally, yeah.
Yeah, that dude should have walked out with a flannel shirt on or something. Anyway, yeah, I really can't say anything about y'all giving it bullshit. I really wish I could, but I just wouldn't have a good conscience doing that. Because I'm nice like that.
But all the other stuff you've done in your conscience doesn't bother you at all.
I'm not talking about me.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about other people.
Fair enough.
I don't want to ruin the ending as if anything could really ruin this piece of shit, but this movie is 10,000 BC, and they trying to pitch this like we got a time machine with cameras and went back to 10,000 BC to show you what it was really like. And then you get to the movie and it gets more and more magical until they just do a cop-out bullshit magical ending.
Well, that's the thing. There's nothing about this movie that has anything to do with magic. Matter of fact, they debunk the magic until they get to the very end and decide, like, well, now the magic suits our purposes, so let's throw that in.
Yeah, we can't find a better way to end this, really. So
No, they might as well have like Yoda and Ben Kenobi and everybody standing there watching this guy.
I know there's this point where they're showing like the old mystical woman. They keep flashing back to her because she can see everything that's going on, which they do occasionally. You expect it to be like, da na 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 na.
Okay, the old toothless mystical woman, was she getting on anybody else's nerves besides mine?
Man, I told you because all they do is keep flashing back to her like having her period through her nose. You know?
Oh man!
I mean, yeah, this woman's acting. I wish I could show you, but this woman's acting is like her eyes rolling up in her head. And she's like, it's like, what? You got a vibrator down there? So what's going on with you? And most of the time, she really does like a snow monkey. I mean,
No, you're right. She does.
I ain't trying to call ethnic people monkeys, but you ever see those National Geographic covers with those monkeys in the snow with that fur all over? They keep flashing back to her face like that. And you expecting like her face to like just peel out and be on National Geographic.
Well, it's funny how they walk around half dressed and they live in like the snowy part of wherever they are, but then you walk 10 feet over and suddenly it's desert.
Yeah, you know, there's a point in this movie where they're coming from their like 2 minutes ago. They're like, we're so cold, we might die of freezing to death. And there's like literally just a line where it turns from frozen blocks of ice to tropical climate jungle, like rainforest. And like they were freezing a minute ago, covered in snow. They had just crossed that line. It's not like time has passed because you can see behind them the snowy mountain, like right there. And the kid goes, "It's so hot here."
Oh, I know.
What is this? Epcot Center, 10,000 BC? What the hell?
Yeah, it's like we've gone from snowland to tropical land.
That's exactly what it's like. At that point, I looked around. I was like, are we all watching the same movie? Because I just feel like throwing up my hands going, what the fuck is this bullshit?
No, it's like playing a video game. It's
Yeah.
like, we went from Ice World.
Yeah, it's the next level.
Now we're in Desert World. I mean, they should have made them go into Lava World.
Then at least we would have felt comfortable knowing the end was near.
Yeah, this movie is totally some bullshit.
Now, dude, in lieu of the ending that I had to remind you of, you can't tell me you still want to give it rental. Doesn't that put it over the hump?
I mean, come on.
For some old bullshit. I mean, like a movie that was just that bad, and then to have a cop out ending.
Like I said, what's hysterical is it has this nonsensical thing where the woolly mammoth comes, like old woolly mammoth comes to the hero and does some sort of, okay, it's okay, my son. And then the magic happens and you're like, man, they've been killing these elephants throughout the whole movie, just brutalizing them. Why in the fuck would that elephant want to help his ass at all?
Oh yeah, no, there's a scene in there where the guy looks at the elephant and the elephant exchanges looks with the guy and they're like, yeah, let's fuck some shit up. We working together now. And it's like, oh, give me a break, man.
Hello, bird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I am going to change it to some bullshit. It might not, when we do the video for it, for editing purposes, it might not make it, but okay, y'all broke me down. I mean, the more we went on, it's like, damn, that really didn't make any sense either. I was like, just for the writing alone. I'm sorry, effects guys. Y'all really are going down with this ship now. This shit is horrible. Nothing can save you.